Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Wisteria Energy Twister. Please hit that like and subscribe and share because it really helps. This fairy tale is a Celtic folklore tale, still from 1984, but it's called The Black Horse and originally a Celtic tale. Once there was a king, and he had 3 sons, and when the king died, they did not give a shade of anything to the youngest son, but an old white limping garron. "If I get but this," said the youngest son, "it seems that I had best go with it." He was going with it right before him, sometimes walking, sometimes riding. When he had been riding a good while, he thought that the garron would need a while of eating, so he came down to earth. And what should he see coming out of the heart of the west towards him but a rider, riding high, well, and right well. "All hail, my lad," said the king's son. "Hail, king's son," said the other. "What's your news?" said the king's son. "I have got that," said the lad who came. "I have broken my heart riding this ass of an horse, but will you give me the limping white garron for him?" "No," said the king's son, "it would be a bad business for me." "You need not fear," said the lad who came. "There is no saying, but you might better take use of him than I. He has one value. There is no single place that you can think of in the 4 parts of the wheel of the world that the black horse will not take you there." So the king's son got the black horse, and he gave the limping white garron. Where should he think of being when he mounted but in the land under waves? He went, and before sunrise on the morrow he was there. What should he find when he got there but the son of the king of the land under waves, holding a court, and the people of the realm gathered to see if there was anyone who would undertake to go to seek the daughter of the king of Norroway to be the prince's wife. No one, not one person, came forward, when who should come up but the rider of the black horse. "You, rider of the black horse," said the prince, "I lay you under crosses and under spells to have the daughter of the king of Norroway here before the sun rises tomorrow." The king's son went out, and he reached the black horse and leaned his elbow on his mane, and he heaved a sigh. "Sigh of a king's under spells," said the horse, "but have no care. We shall do the thing that was set before you." And off they went. "Now," said the horse, "when you get near the great town of Norroway, you will notice that the 4 feet of a horse never went to the town before. The king's daughter will see me from the top of the castle, and looking out, as she will, from a window, she will not be content without a turn of a ride upon me. Say that she may have that, but the horse will suffer no man but you to ride before a woman on him." They came near the big town, and the king's son fell to the horsemanship, and the princess was looking out of the window and saw the horse. The horseman pleased her, and she came out just as the horse had come. "Give me a ride on your horse," said she. "You shall have that," said the king's son, "but the horse will let no man ride for him before a woman but me." "I have an horseman of my own," she said. "If so, set him in front," said he. Before the horseman mounted at all, when he tried to get up, the horse lifted his legs and kicked him off. "Come then yourself and mount before me," she said. "I won't leave the matter so. I won't leave it at all." So he mounted the horse, and she behind him, and before she glanced from her, she was nearer sky than the earth. He was in the land under waves, with her before the sunrise. You are come, said the Prince of the Land Under Waves. I am come, he said. There you are, my hero, said the prince. You are the son of a king. But I am a son of success. Anyhow, we shall have no delay or neglect. Just a wedding. Just gently, said the Princess of Norroway. Your wedding is not so short a way off as you suppose. Till I get the silver cup that my grandmother had at her wedding, and that my mother had as well, I will not marry, for I need to have it at my own wedding. You, rider of the black horse, said the Prince of Land and Waves, I set you under spells and under crosses, unless the silver cup is here before dawn tomorrow. Out he went, the king's son, and reached the horse, and leaned his elbow on his mane, and he heaved a sigh. Sigh of a king's son under spell, said the horse. Mount, and you shall get the silver cup. The people of Norroway are gathered about the king tonight, for he has missed of his daughter, and when you get to the palace, go in and leave me without. They will have the cup there, going round the company. Go in and sit in there amiss, say nothing. Seem to be as one of the people of the place. When the cup comes round to you, tuck it under your arm, and come out to me with it, and we shall go. Away they went, and they got to Norroway, and the king's son went into the palace and did as the black horse bid. He took the cup and came out and mounted, and before sunrise he was in the land under waves. You are come, said the prince. I am come, said he. We had better get married now, said the prince to the princess. Slowly and softly, said she, I will not marry till I get my silver ring that my grandmother and my mother wore when they were wedded. You, rider of the black horse, said the prince, do that. Let's have that ring here tomorrow at sunrise. The king's son went back to the black horse, put his elbow on his chest, and told him how it was. There never was a matter set before me harder than this, master. This matter has now been set before me, said the horse, but there is no help for it, at any rate. Get upon me. There is Snow Mountain and an Ice Mountain, and there is also a mountain of fire between us and the winning of that ring. It is right hard for us to pass them. Thus they went, and they were, and about a mile from the Snow Mountain, they were in a bad case with cold, and they came near it. The king's son struck the horse, and with the bound he gave the black horse was on the top of the Snow Mountain, and the next bound he was on top of the mountain of ice, and at the third mound and bound he went through the mountain of the fire. When he had passed the mountains, the king's son was dragging the horse's neck, as though he were about to lose himself. He went on before him, down to a town below. Go down, said the black horse, to a smithy. Make an iron spike for every bone end in me. Down he went to the horse as desired, and he got the spikes made, and back he came with them. Stick them into me, said the horse, every spike of them in every bone end that I have. That he did. He stuck the spikes into the horse. There is a lock here, said the horse, 4 miles long, 4 miles wide, and when I go into it, into that lock, will take fire and blaze, and if you see the lock of fire going out before the sun rises, expect me, and if not, go your way. On went the black horse into the lake, and the lake became aflame. Long was he stretched about the lake, beating his palms and roaring, the king's son. Day came, and the lake did not go out. But an hour when the sun was rising from the water, the lake went out. The black horse rose in the middle of the water with one single spike in him, and the ring upon its end. He came on shore, and down he fell beside the lake. Then down went the rider. He got the ring, and he dragged the horse down to the side of the hill. He fell to sheltering him with his arms about him, and as the sun was rising, he got better and better, till about midday, when he stood upon his feet. "Get up," said the horse, "and let us be gone." He did get back up on his black horse, and they went. He reached the mountains, and he leaped the horse at the fire mountain and was on top. From the fire mountain he leaped to the mountain of ice, and from the mountain of ice to the mountain of snow. He put the mountains past him, and by morning he was the land of under waves. "You are come," said the prince. "I am," said he. "That's true," said the prince. "A king's son are you, but a son of success am I. We shall have no more mistakes and delays, but a wedding this time." "Go easy," said the princes of Norroway. "Your wedding is not so near as you think yet. Till you make a castle. I won't marry you. Not, no, not to your father's castle, nor to your mother's castle will I go dwell, but make me a castle for which your father's castle would not make washing water. You, rider of the black horse, make that," said the prince, "before the morrow's sun rises." The lad went down to the horse and leaned his elbow on his neck and sighed, thinking about this castle. It could never be made for ever. He could never do that. "There never came a turn in my road yet that is easier for me to pass than this," said the black horse. The king's son gave a glance, and he saw ever so many wrights and stonemasons at work. The castle was ready before the sun rose. He shouted at the prince of the land under waves, and he saw the castle. He tried to pluck out his eye, thinking that it was false sight. "Prince," said the rider of the black horse, "don't think that you have a false sight. This is a true sight." "That may be," said the prince. "You are a son of success, but I am a son of success too. There will be no more mistakes and delays, but a wedding now." "No," said the princess. "Should we not go look at the castle? There's time enough to get married before the night comes." They went to the castle, and the castle was without want. "I see one," said the prince. "One want at least to be made good. A well to be made inside, so that water may not be far to fetch, and there is a feast or a wedding in the castle." "That won't be long undone," said the rider of the black horse. The well was made, and it was 7 fathoms deep and 2 or 3 fathoms wide, and they looked at the well and the way to the wedding. "It is fairly made," said the princess, "but for one fault yonder." "Where is it?" said the prince. "There," she said. He bent down to look. She came out, and she put her 2 hands at his back and cast him in. "Be thou there," she said. "If I go to be married, thou art not the man, but the man who did each thing that has been done, and if he chooses, him will I have." Away she went with the rider of the little black horse to the wedding, and at the end of 3 years after that, so it was that the king's son first remembered the black horse, or where he left him. He got up and went out, and he was very sorry for his neglect of the black horse. He found him just where he left him at the wedding. "Good luck to you, gentlemen," said the horse. "You seem as if you had got something that you like better than me." "I have not got that, and I won't. But it came over me to forget you," said he. "I don't mind," said the horse. "It will make no difference. Raise your sword and smite off my head." "Fortune will not allow that I should do that," said he. "Do it at once, or I will do it to you," said the horse. So the lad drew his sword and smote off the horse's head. Then he lifted his 2 palms and uttered a doleful cry. What should he hear from behind him but, "All hail, my brother-in-law"? He looked behind him, and there was the finest man he'd ever set eyes upon. "What set you weeping for the black horse?" said the fine man. "This," said the king's son, "that there was never was born of man He was never born of man. Born of animal, born of beast. That's what he was. Beast, a creature in this world that I was fonder of. Would you take me for him? Said the stranger. If I could think you the horse, I would. But if not, I would rather the horse, said the rider. I am the black horse, said he, and if I were not, how should you have all these things that you went to seek in my father's house? Since I went under spells, many a man have I ran at before you met me. They had but one word amongst them. They could not keep me, nor manage me, and they never kept me a couple of days. But when I fell in with you, you kept me till the time ran out, and that was to come from the spells. And now you shall go home with me, and we shall make a wedding in my father's house. And that's the story of the Black Horse. It's a Celtic folklore story, so obviously the wording's slightly different. Thank you for listening, and many